Welcome to the 33rd Annual Christian Homeschool Basketball National Championships in Springfield, Missouri. From the campus of Drury University, Scott Staten alongside C.J. Pomeroy. And we are continuing now with boys 18U Division I play. This is the 7A play-in game. The number 2 seed Tennessee Heat taking on the number 7 seed DasCHE Spartans. The winner will advance to play in the 7A Gold semifinal game tomorrow, and they will be playing the winner of the game following this one, which we'll also have for 11. CJ, so far some really good action we've seen across the city today, in girls, guys, upper levels, lower levels, and expecting another good one here with DasCHE coming into this game, taking on a Tennessee Heat team that made it the Elite Eight last year. And
DasCHE, the defending national runner-up, they ran into the buzzsaw known as MHEA, and for as good a game as they played last year, it just shows you how good MHEA was with the win that they had. But this is a DasCHE team, though, that is missing some key contributors this year. And so it's going to be a challenge, but I'm sure that they're going to be up for it. I'm sure Coach Turner is going to have them ready to go.
Tennessee quickly on the attack and got a whistle. I think the clock didn't start, so they're going to count the bucket, but let the clock get caught up. That was some quick action there. Diesmang was in with the shot. Great pass inside by Asigan. And Tennessee, as we said, they really came onto the scene the last couple years, and last year made it to the Elite Eight, just barely missed a trip to the Final Four. And as you said, DasCHE with a little bit of a different roster, but that championship game experience, and you got to hope as a 7 seed they're going to be more dangerous than that. And there's a 3 right off the bat by Caleb Hernandez.
Yeah, I mean, that's it, what you said right there. The experience of playing in these games, and both of these teams last year played in games on this court, big-time games, and that shows you some of the changes that Nationals has made and the impact those changes have had, the kind of games we get so early in the week.
Yeah, these are – call them play-in games. These are games you might have seen, the last couple of years in some of the national semifinals, quarterfinals. Right now, after great pass inside by Tennessee, a great entry pass by Banker as Bond hits the first free throw.
Bond was not here during warm-ups. He came right in. I'm sure he was coming probably from a 16U game, I think. But he got here right before the tip.
Second one
right
good.
Out to start the game.
4-3 lead now for Tennessee. They are in the white uniforms with the black and red trim. DasCHE Spartans in the black uniforms with the blue and white trim. And as you said, yeah, Tennessee started to be a deep program. We were getting rosters and checking, verifying before the game. On the drive there and a whistle, that was Como going in on the drive, Jaden Como, and he was fouled by a Tennessee player. But Tennessee wasn't even sure completely which of their 16U guys were going to be here from the other game, but because they all play significant minutes in here for Tennessee.
Yeah, Coach Bond has done a terrific job of developing this program, and this year they've got incredible players, Thatcher Bond, Isaac Azagin, Carson Dismang, and Craig Lewis. Those are some of the core players there, but Dismang with his size and ability, and then Thatcher's a hooper. And I just have to give a shout out to Isaac here, number 5 with the ball. He was our Scholar Athlete of the Month for February, 34 on his ACT.
Wow. Now that's impressive. Banker with the putback.
Full ride offer to Rhodes College in Memphis, one of the elite institutions in all of America.
Very impressive. So Tennessee with the early lead, 6-5.
Some great basketball that we've seen. Oh. Ooh.
That was a great entry pass. It looked like might have been a tie-up, but the official said that he had the ball the whole time and was called for the travel and the turnover.
That might have been one of those kinds of possessions where the referee was anticipating the travel before the jump.
Right.
And he sees the travel first before the jump, and so that's what he called. Either way, that's a tough call right there with the way that defensive possession came about.
Here's a 3 by Lewis, no good. And rebound off to DasCHE. Here comes the Spartans on the attack the other way. Just 2 minutes into this one, the ball tipped away from him. Here comes Tennessee now. On the drive, nice little dish down to the left side and a put in by Diesmang.
Tell you what, you better be ready to watch. These guys play fast. The ball is getting down the court in a hurry, and that shows you the high-level basketball that they're playing.
Craig Lewis with that great pass, and then on the other end, it is Jaden Como drawing the contact. He'll be at the free throw line shooting 2 on that shot.
So as good as Diesmang is, he's got 2 early fouls here in the first 2 minutes, and so Coach Bond is going to have to substitute, I'm sure.
As the first one goes through, he's 3 for 3 now in free throws. Into the game, Sam Groth.
And Jaden Como is on the All-American watch list. Terrific young man. Great player.
Second shot went in, but it will not count as his teammate, Liam O'Grady, stepped into the lane too soon. So wipe that one off the board. It's 8-6 still, Tennessee in front.
Little high-pressure action here. Not really trying to force anything, more trying to slow down the pace here.
Tennessee working the ball around the perimeter. Going to be patient here. Ooh, played through that, a little bit of contact, and yeah, he got called for the foul. That foul's going to be on Liam O'Grady.
I love aggression, but that was, and Coach Turner's looking at him like, not that.
Could have had a couple fouls there. Whoa, almost a steal on the inbounds by Hernandez. Couldn't quite come away with it. Tennessee on the attack again.
So it was a zone press by DasCHE just to slow him down, back into a man-to-man defense.
He finds Bond over on the right side. No good. Rebound comes off to Como.
That was a good, strong rebound. Kept the ball high. Now pushing the tempo. Here goes O'Grady to the lane.
Aggressive player. He drove right into that lane, drew the contact, could not get the shot to fall. But really, DasCHE doing a great job creating opportunities, putting themselves on the free throw line. And were it not for that lane violation, they'd be perfect so far.
Yeah, they're just super aggressive on the dribble penetration, which right now, understanding how the officials are calling the game, that's what you want to do. If you can get to the rack and get a defender's body on you, you're more than likely going to draw the foul. So
Sinicola comes in for Tennessee. Tennessee, a deep team. As we mentioned, they have that 16U squad as a second shot goes in for O'Grady. 8-7, 1-point lead early for Tennessee.
You know, it's one thing to get fouls in the game. Right now, Tennessee has got 3. Fouls.
Nice block by Como on the drive inside.
And then he runs. Look at the big man run. Oh, great defense.
And then stolen back. Both teams with some great defense there.
Oh, man.
He loved the hustle.
Oh, man, I tell you what, the big man got the block. Then he got out and run. If you're watching this game and you're a big man, let me tell you, that is how you get in your coach's good graces. You block a shot, and then you be the first one down the floor.
Banker flew into the stands almost trying to run that one down. Both sides showing some great hustle and back-to-back steals.
I mean, it just shows you how much these guys understand the importance of this game and getting a good start to the week.
Asigan gets the steal, then he gets the ball knocked away from him by Hernandez, but they maintain control, and then on the skip step puts it in. Thatcher Bond.
Man. I don't know what just happened there. I think there was like a tip. The ball almost went in on
it did.
On the defensive tip. I don't know who you give the points to on that, but
Tennessee with some really active hands. Askin got that steal before, just cutting into the passing lane, getting a hand on it. Here's a 3 from the right wing, and that one is good by O'Grady.
Did you see how fast O'Grady got that three-point up? That ball couldn't have been in his hands for more than a quarter second.
Quick trigger. I don't know how he saved that one. Askin was able to find his teammate Bond across the court as he was forced over the timeline, but they keep possession. Tennessee, 10-10 game. Guys trading shots here back and forth. Askin goes in, almost gets the three-point play, but instead he'll get 2 shots at the free throw line.
I think that's Caleb Hernandez picking it up. You know, the one thing I'm noticing on that DasCHE bench over there is that entire bench is engaged. Those guys are constantly talking to all of those players on defense.
First shot by Askin, no good. He'll get one more.
That is the sign of a good team chemistry right there. When you have everyone, including those guys on the bench, engaged in what is going on the floor.
Second shot rims out, but there's an offensive board. Sam Groth keeps the ball alive. Here's Tennessee now again on the attack after the missed free throw.
What a move.
Goes in, Askin, shot is missed. Oh, putback attempt, no good. And then we got a foul.
Offensive on Como.
Offensive foul on Como.
And I think that's going to be his second. Yeah, that is his second personal.
And we got a timeout where they're going to talk it over. Well, that one, I didn't even see that one, CJ. There was so much activity. Just these guys both teams are just frenetic pace. But right now, and you can tell with the 10-10 score, equally matched. Both teams kind of like the heavyweight match, feeling each other out, each getting a shot in. But we've seen speed, hustle, effort, defense, steals. I mean, pretty much all of that. And we've just gone 5 minutes, not even quite 5 minutes into this one.
And I tell you, the intensity and the effort and the pace that these two teams are playing with is great to watch. But the thing that we have to now look at is there's 4 team fouls against DasCHE, 3 team fouls against Tennessee, and we've not even played 5 minutes of basketball yet. So at some point, these teams are going to have to recognize how the game is being called. They're going to have to make some adjustments here. Otherwise, this could end up 4-on-4 by the time we get to the fourth quarter.
It's happened before in the Nationals. Tennessee with the inbounds. Oh, and the ball tipped away and stolen by DasCHE. Quickly the other way, but his shot is blocked. That was Saffold.
What great defensive mind right there by Saffold. He could have tried to go up on the near side glass. He didn't. He stayed in control. He still got the block.
Then on the drive, oh, nice strong move on the baseline. Tennessee, but we get the whistle. Going to be more free throw attempts on Askin.
And that is the second foul on Hernandez. So now Coach Turner's got 2 guys with 2 fouls each here in the early going of this game.
First shot is good. And on that last play, that was Groth actually that went in on the block. Saffold had gone in. It looked like he made the steal on the inbounds pass and had a lane. It was going to be contested, but just a great job running down the player on the drive and getting the block, and then that resulted in these free throw attempts. Second shot's good, and the Heat back out in front by 2.
Good back-and-forth game here. And for the most part, I think it's been fairly clean from an execution perspective. Not a whole lot of turnovers. I mean, there's been turnovers, but it's turnovers that come from just great play. Of course, as soon as I say that, bad pass out of bounds.
Yeah. That time Deuce Taylor trying to get the ball, swing it over to the opposite side to Como, but it's a little too strong and ricochets off his hand out of bounds. Turnover. It gives the ball back to the Heat.
And with 2 fouls, Dismang has checked back into the game.
And on the drive, that was close. They get the defender for the block. Deuce Taylor on that one. That's his first.
Looks like they're going to get, yeah, you got it, Taylor. Sorry.
Askin drove there, and it wasn't a lot of contact, but the player went down, and they did call him for the block. First shot is good.
So Taylor had lined up to be ready to take the charge, and he was ready to take the full motion of the charge.
Right.
But Askin, with incredible athleticism, is somehow able to stop his forward progression and take it into a height instead of a length. And then all of a sudden, Taylor didn't know what he was going to do right there. He tried to fall back like he was getting charged, which is an automatic block call for the official.
So he sinks both free throws, leading out a 4 for Tennessee. DasCHE going to try to respond.
Tennessee came out with a little bit of a press right there.
Saffold over in the corner. There's a 3 attempt that is no good.
Ooh.
That was by Cade Walker. And here
guys
comes
run the
Tennessee.
floor.
Good recovery that time by Walker to be able to knock the ball out of the hands of Dismang. Tennessee will keep possession.
These guys are running so much, it probably sounds like a stampede out there.
If this was a second story, yeah, you would not want to be in the apartment below. A lot of running. Here's
Great
a three.
Play.
Deep three is good by Craig Lewis. He was behind the college line on that one, and 17-10, biggest lead of the day.
And
At the other end, a three falls out of bounds. They say he was in his own zone there, so they didn't call a foul, that he had actually fallen on his own and that the defensive player had stayed in his position and not taken his feet out. And quickly the other way, here comes Tennessee once again on the attack. They'll bring it in under their own basket, up 7. 1:40 to go here. This boys 18U Division I 7A play-in game.
Coach Bond got what he wanted out of Dismang with the 2 fouls out there and was able now to get him off the floor.
Senecola missed the 3. Sam Groth got in there and got the rebound, and his arm was pulled down, it looked like, that time by Deuce Taylor. And the official right on top of it gets the call. And it will be 2 free throws, I believe, for Sam Groth.
And that's the 3rd player for DasCHE with 2 fouls. Not even 7 minutes to play here. And Coach Turner is having to go into the deeper part of his bench, trying to preserve his guys for later in the game.
First shot is good.
Big difference, I think, in the last few minutes has been the continued penetration of Tennessee to the glass, drawing those fouls. Whereas on the other end, good looks, but, you know, when you're taking three-point shots, you're not necessarily drawing fouls. So, you know, I think that's kind of been the difference that we've seen here. Oh, what a move.
What a stop and pop. Sam Groth, and that was all caused by the rundown at the after the missed free throw. Askin able to keep the ball alive. It's the second time they've done that on a missed free throw and able to give themselves more opportunities, and a beautiful shot by Groth. At the other end, O'Grady misses his shot. He's back in the lane, gets his own, puts it in over the front of the rim.
Physicality that O'Grady plays with, you got to have it.
Askin on the attack again, throws it up. No good. Here come the other way, Como. Como up ahead to Walker. Goes back to O'Grady, who puts it in the glass. And the foul. He is so aggressive. When he gets the ball, he is going to attack. And that time it paid off as he hits the bucket, and now he has a chance for a three-point play.
So important right now to convert these and ones. That was a 10-point game here just a moment ago. And so for O'Grady to be as aggressive as he has been, he's got 5 points back in the last 20 seconds, keeping his team close, even though they have all the foul trouble.
Yeah, just like that, you can see how fast this game is. He gets them, cuts the lead in half, and then a turnover.
Looks like a travel call. I didn't fully see it, but I think he signaled travel.
Once again, O'Grady making his presence known on both ends. Just some hard play, and he is keeping his team in this. Down by 5, 39 seconds to go in this first period of this boys 7A play-in game. Winner will move on to play the winner of the next game. And that time, Como just kind of got caught in no man's land, dribbled too high, and he was pickpocketed, which down at the other end goes in the hands of Bond, who drains the 3. That was huge.
That ball, you can see it looks like it's got a little bit of bounce to it.
There's another 3. That one is good. Sappho.
Oh,
back down to 5. 6 seconds left. He falls to the floor. They take a shot, fake the shot. Here he is from the corner. 3, no good. Askin couldn't get that one to fall, but we end a really fun first period of action here in this boys 18U Division I 7A play-in game. It is the number 2 seed Tennessee Heat leading the 7 seed DasCHE Spartans 23-18. Back with the second quarter after this break. Welcome back to Boys 18U Division I 7A action. 33rd Annual Christian Homeschool Basketball National Championship game. Scott Staten, C.J. Pomeroy, and we are at Drury University. Getting ready to start here this second period. A little bit of a false start there, but first period, just so much activity, C.J. Both teams just answering each other's runs. They would build a lead, and then the other team would come back. DasCHE was down by 10 points and then cut that lead in half. And now they just face a 5-point deficit as they head into the second period.
That was such a huge finish for DasCHE at the end of the first period, being down 10, and a lot of it led right here by O'Grady, who is just playing with so much effort.
Even on the block, he gets his own, after the block shot, he gets the ball back and gets another shot up. It was a great block inside there by Jason Banker for the Heat.
If you're a guard watching this game, you want to look at how O'Grady is playing, because that's what a coach wants. Playing physical, playing fast, playing with continuous effort.
Here's Saffold again for three. That one was too long. And the rebound into the hands of Craig Lewis, who brings it up for Tennessee. Asigan stops, pops a three. Got it.
Oh, man, I tell you what, he's so fast. When you pair that up with someone who can shoot, with the ability to shoot, man, what are you going to do? You're going to try and guard him on the wing? If you try and guard him on the wing, he beats it with the step.
And then on the other end, Como, here he is again for a three. Great pass, no good. Chases down his own miss. Ball is all over the place. He kicks it back out to Lewis, who misses a three. And then on the rebound, knocked away by Bond. Just such quick hands on defense by Tennessee.
Man, if we could just go back and watch the play in that drive by Bond. He stayed in the air for what seemed like forever to find a pass.
That three no good by Lewis. And this time, DasCHE comes off it in the hands of Como. Jaden Como brings it down over into the corner. Como steps out for the three, looked online, but a little too strong, and then Lewis high into the sky to pull down that board.
That looked a little bit like a tired shot. You can see Como is working extremely hard. Looks like he went maybe for the shot that he knew he could get. Probably not the best opportunity there, but they're playing hard.
Well, even on the drive there, nothing like it ended up. They kept the ball, but when you bring that ball down at all, somebody's hand is going to be on it on the other team. They're just doing a great job defending right now, both squads.
Yeah, both teams just so active with their feet, active with their hands.
Asking from the free throw line, too strong. Como with the rebound. You talked about the DasCHE had lost some, and maybe Como, more falls on his shoulders now. He has that experience from last year where he was not necessarily the leader player, but now he finds himself in that role, and sometimes that can be a lot when you get into these tournaments.
He had a really good national tournament last year, and I think, that's a great way.
That's a tough one. Falling down was on the back of the player, and he can't believe he got called for that one.
And I think, referees understand who the players are that need to stay in a game, and I think in that you could see that referee was trying extremely hard. We have a technical.
And a technical foul must have been on one of the players or the coaches from the DasCHE sideline. As the free throw is good by Thatcher Bond. He'll get one more. And we got a timeout before the second free throw shot. So we're going to take a break right here, and then we'll come back and square things away and let you know what's going on. Right now it's a 27-18 lead for the Tennessee Heat over the DasCHE Spartans. So we are back, and get us all caught up, CJ.
Yeah, so we had that foul right there against Como, which the referee really did not want to call that foul, but he had no choice because the Heat player had the ball and Como fell directly on him, and so there's no choice but to call the foul. And I didn't see what exactly happened afterward, but obviously I think it was Liam O'Grady. It was Liam O'Grady who got the technical, but probably had something to say about it because it is the third foul against Como here with 5 minutes to play in the second quarter.
And he's still in the game. That's how important he is. Great foul! O'Grady again. Wow. Look him up. Look up the word hustle in the dictionary, and you're going to see his photo there.
I tell you what, and that really speaks to who O'Grady is as a player, right? So he plays so fast, so hard, and he goes from possession to possession. He does not allow the last mistake to define him. He goes to the next possession. Yep. So he picks up the technical foul, and then he sprints down on defense to get the force of the action, and then sprint back on offense to get that rebound and put in the layup. Great play.
Great hustle, and a great play by Liam O'Grady. He's really put his mark on this game. Double digits now scoring for the Spartans. 28-21, Tennessee still in the lead.
And right now, if you're the Tennessee Heat, you have to be thinking about the dagger. Can we put the dagger?
Did you say dagger? Assigan heard you, and wow, just drains the three this time from the right corner. And the lead back up to 10 with 4:45 to go in the second. You hit the nail on the head. I don't think Tennessee seems to be lacking any of those guys with the killer instinct.
Yeah.
They've got several.
They have a great complement of players. I was talking to Coach Bond before the game, and several players nominated for the All-American watch list. And part of the problem that he has on that team is they're all so good that when you're looking at who might be an All-American on the team, sometimes it's hard to see because the stats are pretty evenly distributed.
Right.
But right now, if you're the Heat, knowing how much foul trouble the Spartans are in, you've got to think about how can I go ahead and I've got to push right now. I've got to figure out how it is to push right now and try to extend this lead to 15 and 16, 17 points.
Whoa, there he is again. A great ball fake. Drives in the lane, floats, draws the contact, and puts himself at the free throw line. This time he'll get two as the shot didn't go.
But I tell you what, if they're going to do that, they have got to figure out how they're going to stop Liam O'Grady because he is single-handedly keeping them in the game. I've got him unofficially for 13 points in the first 12 minutes of this game.
I unofficially agree. That's what I've got as well. Sinks another. Wow.
And he has been money from the free throw line.
Liam O'Grady playing a game, and they need really some help from Como, who has struggled with the foul trouble, trying to stay involved in this game, but got to be really smart. And that time on the fake shot, the pump and then the drive, contact is drawn by Bond, and he will bring it in under his own basket for the Tennessee Heat. Heat in the white, DasCHE Spartans in the black. Here's a corner three by Lewis, and another weapon, his second three of the game.
And not only that, that was the third foul for Hernandez for the Spartans. So get a third foul. Oh, yeah. Come on now. Come on now.
Nice play. Number 23, Hernandez, with the bucket on the recipient of a great pass. DasCHE really working the ball well.
Two of the shortest guys on the floor going for the alley-oop layup.
Love it.
Man.
Little over halfway through this second period. Tennessee with the 9-point lead, 3:56 to go. Let's see what they've got on the game plan right now. Oh. That seems like a good one, but that time Askian rushed it just a bit, and he missed everything.
What a beautiful play design right there by Coach Bond. Little handoff to the guard. Looks like he's going to come around like he's going to get a screen. Instead, he pops right back, and now the big man is his screen for the shot.
Deuce Taylor over to O'Grady. Back up top to Ray.
I think that's a good matchup right there
And the ball entry pass from Como that time just too tall. Maybe if they'd switch who was where, that would have been perfect. But Como, the taller player, just threw it over the head of O'Grady, and that's a turnover.
And that has been a weak point so far in this game for Dash. They've had I've counted 3 now, maybe 4 passes that they've thrown high. So a little nerves maybe, not because of being in the game. They know exactly what it is to be in this game. But with the foul trouble that they have, and they know these players are instinctive. They understand the importance of keeping this game close in this second quarter.
Sinicola gets it over in the corner, back out top. That is Growth with the 3.
And that is the 6th three-pointer here in the game.
There's Growth with the steal. Going to take it all the way. Goes up. Oh, and he mistimed his jump and missed the jam. That would have been an exclamation mark.
That would have been huge, huge.
His bench players all with their hands on their face like, it was so close to being great. I'm sure he's going to hear they're going to be a little bit of playful jabs from his teammates a little later on that one. Well, he would have loved to have that. But you were talking about the three-pointers, 3 different players with 3s in this quarter, and just showing again how deep and how just loaded this Tennessee Heat team is.
And they're doing it with Dismang on the bench because of the foul trouble.
Ball knocked away. Thought they might be coming into us. Guess who chases it down?
Yes.
Mr. O'Grady.
He passed and then he cut right there. That was awesome.
Oh, that was a great drive by Ray with the left hand. Couldn't get it to go. And then underneath, a battle for the board. And we got a whistle and a foul. That one's going to be on O'Grady. And is that his 3rd?
I have him for 2 plus the technical. I'm assuming the technical is going to count as a player foul, so I would say that he's got 3.
And it tells you a lot about what Dash feels like how important this first half is to leave that many players in the game with that many fouls. They got to keep it close.
Yeah, they've got to try it. Now, at some point in time, Coach Turner's going to, and I know he's over there thinking about it. He's got to figure out, am I going to continue to run this man-to-man defense out there? Am I going to need to go to the zone a little bit and see if I can try and keep the foul count down with the last 2 minutes to play, down 12?
Both shots no good, but an offensive board again 3 times now, and that was Growth with the up and under over his head layup after he got the board there.
That was as close to a illegal foul shot as you could get without being illegal, because that ball barely got the side of the rim.
Yep.
Allowing Growth to catch that rebound and go up with a reverse layup.
Lead is up to 14 now, and that time the entry pass by Sinicola too strong. And Dash will have the ball and a chance to cut into this lead. 2:02 to go here, second period.
And Como now has to go sit with the foul count. He has 3. O'Grady with 3. He's on the bench. On the floor is Hernandez with 3. So,
nice play. They faked one side with the screen and then went back to the strong side. Or the weak side, rather, and couldn't get it to go, but they get another chance because they're so active on the offensive boards.
If I were Dash.
In and out that time by Saffold. Couldn't get it to drop.
I would be very patient right now, because the quicker that I shoot the ball, wow, how he didn't travel there.
Sinicola too strong. He just reaches up and grabs it. Jacob Banker, great follow.
Yeah, I would just think if you're Dash, you've got to figure out a way to slow this tempo down, because you are down 16 points.
And you're causing turnovers left and right because they're causing Dash to rush and then coming the other way. Looked like a Tennessee player ran into a Dash player, and he is called for the block. He ended up on the floor, and, of course, when you end up on the floor, you think you got fouled. But the official was right there, and he said, no, that was a block. And so 2 free throws now, again, for Sam Growth.
And if our foul tracking is correct, that is 4. So right now, Dash has 1, 2, 3 players with 3 fouls or more. in this first half. And kudos to Coach Turner. He is having a very respectful conversation over there with the official. Showing a lot of class right there. A lot of coaches, even in this tournament, a lot of coaches would be so frustrated and be giving referees a piece of their mind in a very demonstrative way. And Coach Turner is handling that exactly the way that he should.
Man, Tennessee's hands just so active. That time, 2 different players knocked the ball. Good shot block that time, and then a push on the rebound. Is that 5 fouls?
That is 5 fouls on Caleb Hernandez.
And that's not something you see very often. If it's right, when that's what we both have, fouling out in the first half of a game shows 2 things. One is great hustle, but they are basically knew they had to come away from this first half giving it everything they got as the first free throw goes by Asigan. He'll get 1 more. And, yeah, that is. He goes over and shakes the hand of the opposing Coach Bond. And Hernandez will be a cheerleader for the rest of this game for his squad, hoping they can do it without him.
He almost becomes a sacrificial lamb because by picking up those fouls, Coach Turner was able to keep O'Grady and Como on the bench, who both have 3 fouls each.
And they're back into the game. Missed shot that time by Cade Walker. Here comes Tennessee, and Tennessee going to slow it down a little bit. They lead it with 42 seconds to go by 21. Yeah. This was a close game, and then, man, they just put the extra heat. They raised the heat, I guess you want to say, and started causing turnovers, hitting crazy shots, just doing a great job, and then the foul trouble just made it so much worse.
Well, Scott, if you remember when it was a 9-point game, we talked about the importance of getting out the dagger, right? You need to put that game. You need to put the game away, and right now, I mean, the game is not over. You got a whole half left to play, but the level of difficulty for DasCHE right now is extreme.
That would have been a really amazing play call had it worked. But it took too many different things to happen just right, and the ball sails out of bounds. Let's see if DasCHE can do something with this real quick. 4 seconds left.
Hands.
His 3 is blocked, and that is how this first half will end. Tennessee Heat with a 21-point lead over the DasCHE Spartans in this boys 18U Division I 7A play-in game. We'll be back with the second half of action after this halftime timeout.
When it hurts, real time it. When it hurts, real time it. When it hurts, real time it.
Welcome back. Second half action here at the 33rd Annual Christian Homeschool Basketball National Championships. Boys 18U Division I 7A play-in game. Scott Staten, C.J. Pomeroy from the campus of Drury University in the O'Reilly Family Event Center. And, boy, this first half, C.J., it was close. It was in single digits, and then suddenly you looked up, and it's a 22-point lead going into the second half for the Tennessee Heat.
And I don't believe that score is indicative of DasCHE and their talent. I think it's more the fact that this has been one of those games where the referees, I believe, have been pretty consistent with how they've called the game, and the players just have not really adjusted to that. In Texas, Dallas in particular, it's a real physical brand of basketball, and here right now they're getting hit with it, and so the Hernandez having fouled out already for DasCHE, Como and O'Grady with 3 fouls. That really took the momentum out, and the game plan had to change for Coach Turner. So, it's going to be tough sledding here in the second half. I'm not sure DasCHE will be able to overcome it, but they're going to give their best effort.
Dismang with the 2 points on the feed inside, and as you mentioned, tough sledding. They're going to have to have some other people really step up. Saffold, a deep 3, can't get it to go, but they get another chance here with the board work, and that time a foul
and
on Dismang.
They're going to get Dismang, and that'll be his 3rd. And, that's the one difference between both teams. Dismang picked up 2 early fouls and was substituted pretty quickly. But you could see the importance of Como and O'Grady to DasCHE as they remained in the game with their foul trouble. So just a couple of coaches going after it as best they can.
Cade Walker missed at the other end for DasCHE. Tennessee now on the attack again. Both teams very physical, very aggressive. They're very active on defense. We've seen a lot of steals, a lot of charging and blocking calls. They're just really going at it. But as you said, Tennessee really coming out on the side you want to be on, as they've been able to turn those turnovers into points and a lot of second chance opportunities.
This is great. I think they're going to get ass again here.
Yep. Over the back, trying to keep the ball alive. And that is one thing. Tennessee, they've gotten a lot of offensive rebounds in this game, and they just crashed the boards. You could see that time 3 different Heat players right around the glass, unable to get the ball, and he drew the foul, but just so active down there in the paint.
And I think Tennessee has come out here in the second half with the right plan, right? So Dismang got a good bucket. Wasn't easy per se, but, it wasn't a force either. And then they come down and they run a very good possession. They didn't get anything out of the possession, but sometimes you're not going to get something out of every possession in the form of points. Sometimes you get it in the form of tempo.
Oh, and the feed inside and the dunk by Banker.
I mean, that execution, I think, on the last play sets that dunk up right there.
Como smoothly and calmly answers the other way with a pretty silky smooth stroke to get 2 of that back. But, wow, what a play down there. And then Dismang in the other end. Now Tennessee starting to flex that inside muscle they've got. And then the ball tipped away by Bond on the pass up ahead, trying to get Como open on the break.
And last year's Spartans team, national runner-up, had the size to be able to combat players like Dismang and Banker and Growth, right? Here it's a little bit, this year it's a little bit more of a struggle. They're having to focus a little bit more on the guard play and the effort and intensity of players like Liam O'Grady.
Yeah. No weak passes. I mean, if the ball has any kind of momentum off of it, he's going to get his hand on the ball. That time unable to save it, but great effort once again. Tennessee back on the attack, 51-27.
A little bit of a zone pressure right there from DasCHE. And now they're going to stay? Hard to see right there. I don't know if they're staying man or if they've gone zone because of the foul trouble.
That time O'Grady on the much bigger Dismang was able to block the shot, and then a wide open drive, but he could not get it to fall. Hayden Ray
He's had a couple like that in this game. Dismaying.
Great feed, and that so many times we've seen that where these players come down in the heat are always looking under the basket, and one of their big guys just flashes across that lane. They're going to find him.
Man, this game is – yeah, Como's looking at the referee like, hey, what about my foul? And I think Como's got a point there. But 53-27, it's going to be hard to get the referees to call it just because you want it called.
Yeah.
Just hard game right now for the Spartans and just not what they wanted, not indicative at all, I think, of the kind of team that they are. It's just, man, I tell you, this Heat team executes with precision.
They do. That time a little bit of a sloppy turnover. They threw it up ahead. Sinicola tried to throw it back in bounds, and O'Grady got his hand on it but couldn't keep control, and so it will stay at this end with Tennessee. On the inbound, Sinicola from the far wing, no good on the three. Boy, there was a collision there, but no call. And here comes the Dash with the ball. O'Grady going to drive the lane. Oh, he is blocked inside that time by Groth.
Man, the height just really causing all sorts of havoc for the Spartans.
Groth, Dismang, and Banger. Boy, they are a trio down low. Dismang had the ball and had to wait for Lewis to get back up. He had fallen down. Now he drives on the baseline, stops, floats one up, and knocked down by Como, and then Como gets the rebound.
Wow.
And he is fouled, I believe, by Dismang, and that's going to be his fourth foul.
Wow.
Great job by Como there to stand his ground with all the foul trouble he has as well, and able to then turn around and get the rebound off the miss. So we get a timeout, 4:06 to go. We'll take a break, and we'll finish the second half of this third period with the Tennessee Heat flexing their muscles. They lead it 53-27. And we are back, and we're glad you're back. Joining us here from Springfield, Missouri, 33rd Annual Christian Homeschool Basketball National Championships. It's the boys 18U Division I 7A play-in game. First of two in a row we're going to have from 7A. The winner of this game moves on to the semis, the gold ball semifinals in 7A, and they'll play the winner of the next game, which will be coming up right after this, and will be CHSA and the Chief Thunder.
Oh.
Meanwhile, at this one, on the drive by O'Grady, got hit in the head. It's going to be a foul, but going to have to shake that one off.
Banker, it looks like.
Grimacing a little bit there, as you can imagine.
You know, it's a tough place to be for Dash, right? Last year, they're the national runner-up. They have a player like, if I remember, it was Caleb Jackson. And you're looking at it going, man, this is a team that can come back. They can get right back to the same point. They lose Caleb. They've lost, it looks like maybe a little bit more, but, you know, they're playing hard. Coach Turner does such a great job with this team.
Como had to be so careful there. You could tell he just had to put his hand up to try to get the block, but couldn't really go after like he might have without foul trouble.
And this just goes to show you how good Tennessee Heat is. I mean, last year I thought they were really good. This year they're better.
Here's a deep three. Sinicola can't get it to go. And Dash with the ball. Boy, Como's doing all that he can. He's driven the last two times and really trying to get the contact, trying to get a shot to fall and just been unable to do it. And then as the ball, O'Grady tried to save it, couldn't get to it, and heads-up play by Groth to throw it off of his leg and get the ball back for Tennessee. 55-27, 2:50 to go.
Feels like this quarter has gone on forever.
Yeah.
Even though really the referees are trying very hard to not blow the whistle very much in this quarter. and they haven't, probably to the dismay of DasCHE because they're working so hard. They're hoping to get some of those calls that went against them in the first half. But, you know, what tends to happen is you get a game like this, it's 30 points, and referees are going to be a little more lax on what they call.
DasCHE working it around, playing already. They had a player foul out in the first half, which you don't see much, but it just showed you they were trying from the very beginning to keep this thing close. And on the long drive and switched to his left hand, and the miss that time by Asigan. Good challenge by the Spartans to get back, and then on the drive, throws it up in the lane. No good by Taylor. And Tennessee with the ball, but then there's a steal.
Sloppy play right there from Tennessee.
Thatcher got it back, but then Tennessee steals it and gets it back for themselves, and that is Growth with the ball. He'll bring it up, the big man. Playing up at the top of the point there. Not something you see a lot with Tennessee.
This height and speed for Tennessee, combined with the great guard play that they get out of Asigan and Lewis and Thatcher Bond. I mean, this team is complete.
And they're young, and there's an alley-oop for Growth off the pass from Sinicola. A little bit of mustard on that one, 57-27.
I didn't think he was going to be able to get it up with as close to the basket as they were, but they made it work.
Saffold misses the three. Here comes Tennessee again, 1:12 to go.
I imagine Coach Bond is going to be thinking about
Miss
how
on the
he
three.
can start substituting some of these freshmen in.
And we apologize, but when they do start coming in, you're probably just going to hear numbers because right before the game, they weren't even sure which players because they were finishing up a 16U game, so we only had the varsity roster. And but that's also, wow, got to be exciting if you're a Tennessee fan, seeing that you got that much youth that's going to be playing here in these varsity games with what you already have in your starting lineup.
It just goes to show the development that Coach Bond has put into this program and into these guys. He's got a full complement of players. You look over there on the bench, and not everyone is suited up to play. The way that their program works, they've only allowed so many guys to be available for each game, and the freshman group got chosen for this one. So just speaks to how they're looking at developing their program long term. And it's a team that is young.
Wow. Deuce Taylor hit the free throw, and then coming the other way, Craig Lewis finds an open Diesmang who gently dunks it in, if you can do such a thing. Then off the miss, here comes Tennessee again. 37 seconds to go. They're up big. On the drive, Sinicola loses the ball, still underneath, spinning around, but his foot hit the in line, and that'll be a turnover. And into the game, one of those freshman players you were talking about, number 22.
22.
As Jacob Banker checks out. Banker, Diesmang, and Growth, just what a trio of big men they've got. On the spin move, Saffold can't get it to drop. Diesmang with the rebound. Here comes Tennessee again. 20 seconds to go in this third period. Tennessee heat up big. They're going to move on to the boys 18U Division I gold ball semifinal for 7A, and they'll play the winner of the next game coming up, which we'll also have for you, CHSA and the Manhattan Chief Thunder. On the drive, Sinicola with the little dipsy-do.
Man, right before the buzzer goes.
And that's how it will end this third period. We head into the final period of play. It is all Tennessee leading 61-28 over DasCHE. We'll be back at the final quarter of action after this. Welcome back to Springfield, Missouri. site of the 33rd Annual Christian Homeschool Basketball National Championships. You're watching the boys 18U Division I 7A play-in game, where it has been all Tennessee Heat, leading 61-28 over the DasCHE Spartans. It was a close, contested game, very physical. Both teams just hustling, great defense in that first half. And then all of a sudden you looked up, and Tennessee, by the end of that second quarter, had built their lead to 20, and it's continued to grow from there, CJ.
Yeah, really, I think what happened there was in that first quarter, or second quarter, I should say, the way that the officiating was going, DasCHE just did not do a good job. Players just, they struggled with it. And so then what ended up happening was Tennessee figured out, hey, let's get after it right here. And they were able to build that lead up to 20 going into halftime. And then they've got, Hernandez fouled out. They've got Como with 3. They've got O'Grady with 3. O'Grady's going to check out right now. And, the reality of it is that you just get to that point where one team's firing on all cylinders, the other team is struggling, and that's just where we are today. It's not indicative of the kind of Como!
Oh, nice answer. Como says, I can do that. Nice little drive. You got to think that was a planned play.
Yeah.
Talked about that one at the break between the third and fourth quarter. Nice. And then a tip away by Como, and looks like Tennessee's got they've left Sinicola out there, but then a lot of their younger players have come in, and then there's a steal up. They're going to call a foul. Yeah, he got him on the arm, it looked like.
That's a hard.
Number 2.
That's hard. I mean, he's a big guy. The ball is up there. I mean, it's for him to grab. I mean, yeah, he's not very happy with the official right here. And I can understand. He's just frustrated, right?
Absolutely.
The game hasn't gone the way he wanted to go. But Coach Turner is going to make sure that his guys play this quarter the way that they need to play it to get better. It's not just about today. It's about the week. And it's also about next year.
And there's more games ahead. So Sinicola tried to dish it to number 41. That is stolen back by DasCHE. You know the difference between Como and I when we get frustrated? He can dunk it when he's frustrated and hit a 3. So there he goes. Great answers. Got to like the way he's still giving it all he's got. The dunk and then the 3.
Yep.
Still playing hard. Here's 41 for 2. No good.
Yeah, I just love how Como's attacking this fourth quarter. He's setting the right example for the rest of his teammates.
Another 3. This time no good from the other side. But an offensive board for DasCHE. They're going to get it back to Como, who passes over to an open look by Deuce Taylor, who couldn't get it to drop. And here comes Tennessee.
Now the question is going to be, how long of a leash does Coach Bond have with his freshmen that are out here, right? You're going against an experienced varsity team, and they don't play or execute the way that those starters do. This is going to be a hard quarter to coach for Coach Bond.
But great experience. If these guys can shake it off and get used to it, as Como sinks another 3.
It's a real opportunity for these freshman guard or freshman players to develop. Like, how are you going to go guard Jaden Como? He's got size on you. He has speed on you. He has physicality on you. He's got talent and skill on you.
Sinicola challenges, the ball rolls off and comes away with it.
And DasCHE wanted the.
Another open 3. Got it.
22.
You got to love it when players realize the goal's still in the same place, even though we're playing guys that are older now than we're used to. Almost an alley-oop.
Como got it, steal and put it back.
He's having a field day right now. What do they say, men among boys?
Yeah. 10 points here in 3.5 minutes in this quarter.
And we got a whistle. Looks like Coach is going to, like you said, the leash maybe has just pulled them back in, and they're going to get some of the starters back in there just to slow the little bit of a run there by Como. He's out there playing obviously as hard as he can, but against some guys that are younger, and those young guys getting some experience, but not necessarily the experience they want, getting dunked on and 3 shot on them over. But at least one of them got in there and got a 3, and going to talk that over and get ready for these last 4 minutes, just over 4 minutes to go here in this one. Coming up next, we're going to have the CHSA Wolverines, the Maroon out of Texas. And going up against the Manhattan Chief Thunder coming out of the Heartland region. They were the 5th-place finishers. And CHSA, the boys 18U Division II champs in the Big South. That's coming up next. They will play the winner of this game, which, bar anything really crazy, is going to be the Tennessee Heat.
Well, so Coach Bond has to find a balance here, right? He wants those freshman guys to get experience and to play, and he wants to preserve his starters. That's an easy call right there. It's an easy call.
Yeah, he did. He went for the steal, but right in front of us, grabbed his arm, and official had to call that one. 4:14 to go.
So the balance is getting those guys experience, but the problem becomes they're not ready quite yet for this level. And so a lot of mistakes, a lot of bad execution on offense. You got 10 points from Como to start the quarter. And now you're looking at going into the next game having lost some of your momentum from the way that you executed. And so it's important, I think, right here to do what Coach Bond just did, which is get his starters back into the game and get back to that execution.
Have yourself a quarter,
Man.
Mr. Como. 13 points this quarter, but the lead still at 25. And
man.
that's a collision you don't want to see. Two
No.
players going as hard as they can, and it looked like they hit
head
heads.
to head.
And you're definitely going to want to check that. Bodies on the floor.
Trainer's going to come out. Teams are going to go to the bench. Grady already had been shaking something. I think Grady already had gotten hit in the upper body, but
being checked by the trainer. That was Hayden Ray that he ran to, and Ray has already walked back to the bench. He said, Coach, I think on my head I got the least of the collision there, but he is holding his finger. I think he landed weirdly, and you could see it coming. Both of them, I mean, they saw the ball. They just went for it and collided, and you love the effort, but you just hate to see when they run into each other like that.
I would not want to be hit by Liam O'Grady.
No. And, I think his coach is saying, I want you to go get checked.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to. Of course, he's shaking it off, and coach is like, yeah, I know you don't want to.
Yep.
We just saw you dive all game long for the ball, but that's the prudent and the best thing to do, go get checked by the trainer. Just 3:41 left in this one. And you know what? There's more ball to be played, so you want to make sure, not only that he's all right for this game or even just overall health, but that if he, as I'm sure he wants to, play the rest of this week, got to be able to get checked out right now and be sure he's okay. Tennessee will get the ball back again, 3:41 to go.
And speaking of injury, I just want to take a moment to mention the Spartans are down a player. Moses Abudo was not able to make a trip. Unfortunately, he has a family emergency that he had to stay home. And we just want to mention to the DasCHE fans back in Dallas and to the Abudo family in general, we're praying for your family and praying the Lord will comfort you and guide you in these moments. So great team right here that plays for each other. And I know Abudo, if he could be here, he'd be out here working just as hard as the rest of these guys.
Absolutely, and well said, CJ. And that's the one thing about this homeschool community is different than almost anywhere else that you'll see. Not that there aren't great players and Christians in other organizations, but just as a family that you're going to have a whole nation almost praying for Abudo's family. As another jumper sunk by Como.
He's got 17 points in this quarter.
Have yourself a quarter.
The freshmen there, we don't have their numbers because they came in late, but man. But I tell you what, Como is just, makes you kind of wonder. Oh, growth! Throw it up.
And what are they calling there?
Maybe a timeout to get, they call it, Coach Bond called a timeout.
Oh, just to swap players.
Just to get players out, yep.
First I thought he called him for travel. He was moving his hands. I was like, what?
And that right there did exactly what Coach Bond wanted to do, right?
Right.
He started the quarter with his freshman squad. He got them some experience, but they were making some mistakes. He said, hey, we gotta stop this. Let me get my starters back out there. Let's make sure we get things into control, keep our momentum for the week because they're executing at a very high level. And now he's got an opportunity to get his freshman back out there and get valuable minutes and experience.
Yeah, and he kept a couple of them in there, and they were able to hit some threes, and then another 2 right there by number 23. And the lead is 72-45. So Tennessee will advance. They will play the winner of our next game, which we'll have for you live here from Drury University. Oh, CHSA and Manhattan Chief. Oh, and a nice pump fake, and number 41 gets his first 2 of the game.
Man, just great play right there. A little pump fake action, wait for the defender to fly, and then put it in.
Tennessee, you got to think after last year's run where they didn't go as deep as they wanted, got to be really excited about the way this game has turned out, and looking ahead to the rest of this week, they've got bigger goals in mind.
They're a team on a mission, for sure. They've been working so hard to get here and to play at a level that would allow them to compete for the national championship. And I tell you what, I mean, I have yet to see some of these other teams play, but I've seen the Raiders play. I've seen MHEA play. I've seen some of these other varsity teams play, and man, if I know what HHBA looks like, but I tell you what, if this Tennessee Heat team, this top 6, top 7 players in that rotation can play with the kind of execution and poise that they played with today, they're going to be a tough out.
And it's a 3-4 year run for them where they've come onto the national scene and really just built into a powerhouse.
Yep. And it's why you come to the tournament. You know, there's teams that and coaches and parents and families that say, why do we come to the tournament if we can't compete? Well, you need to get here. You need to get in this environment. You need to get in this experience. You need to get your players here. You need to let them see what it looks like. You need to build that hunger so that when they go home, all they're thinking about is, man, I want to get better. I want to get back. I want to play in that national championship game. I want to play at Drury University. I want to play on the live stream.
You got to love that for Saffold. He would not give up on that play. 3 straight offensive rebounds, and he finally puts it in and has a chance at a 3-point play. And, yeah, you're right, CJ. This is it's the kind of thing where you learn by playing better competition.
Yep.
You know, if you do it right. Now, you can just stay the same and just keep, losing games that you could get better at.
Yep.
But most of the time, the teams that come out here and start to play, they get, like you said, they get a taste for it. It's fun. It's not something they're used to, and then they want to get better.
And it takes good coaching, right? It takes coaches to help your players understand that when you lose a game that maybe you thought you should have won, or a game like this, Coach Turner is going to have an incredible response for his players. Make no mistake about that.
Andrew Thatcher finishes the scoring, and that will finish the scoring for the game. 74-49, the Tennessee Heat advance to the boys 18U Division I 7A semifinal gold ball game tomorrow. They play the winner of our next game coming up, CHSA, the Wolverines, taking on the Manhattan Chief Thunder. We'll be back with that one after this break.